Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Joy Jolt podcast. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and my special guest this week is the amazing Christy Whitman. Woo! And the crowd goes wild. Now Susie is sailing around the Croatian islands right now with her husband. She's still on vacation, so I am flying solo. But I'm so happy and grateful to have my very good friend Christy Whitman. Now, Christy is here on Substack. You'll be able to find her newsletter is called Quantum Success with Christy and the Council, which sounds like Josie and the Pussycats. And we're going to talk a little bit about who the council is in just a moment. But I just wanted to just go over the amount of fun and joy that the two of us have created together over the years. Because we both got started online. Actually, you were before me, but in the space of manifesting and law of attraction. And training coaches and doing all of that. And we consistently supported each other throughout the years, which then manifested into, what was some of the amazing trips that you took us on?
Turks and Caicos was our first one. That was so much. If you've never been to Turks and Caicos, you guys, oh my gosh, the water is so blue. But then you go there with like Natalie and Glenn and Sonia Ricotti and Chris Cade and, just this group of awesome, fun, seeking for joy. And we went out on the water and, had an excursion where we went to a different part of the island and had a cookout. And just moments like that where we were dancing, where all of a sudden we'd be at dinner and there's karaoke, going on. Or
there wasn't karaoke; it was just spontaneous.
We made it. We made it karaoke. It's so great. Can I just share this part of the story? Because there's so many joyful moments. But Natalie and Glenn had just, broken up and moved in their separate ways, but they were still on the trip and still the hats off to you and Glenn for being conscious creators and moving in and out of form of relationship and still keeping such a beautiful love connection.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do it so just in flow and elegance, and it was never uncomfortable to be around you guys. It was just, it was awesome to see that you can still care for someone, just the form changes. But this is a moment, you guys, where literally there's a guy that's like a DJ, and Natalie requests they play I Will Survive from Gloria Gaynor, best breakup song ever, by the way, and she takes the microphone and just starts singing to it to Glenn. They're now breaking. It was just a classic moment. And then Baby Got Back came on, and then of course I had my moment. But
that's right.
Yeah, that's my jam. But Turks and Caicos, Costa Rica, Maui. The Four Seasons, Barbados.
And then,
right. Remember Barbados? We were on that yacht. It was so amazing. We just saw a picture of the boys with the starfish someone had taken from that trip. So, we've had so many moments where we're dancing on ships and just having the time of our lives, having joy.
Exactly. And the thing is, we are both the queens of designing your life to be that. When I look at the macro parts of the business or our businesses, not only were we doing something that we just felt passionately about, that we got to change lives, that we got to help people, but that we also got to work in an environment or an industry where everyone's helping each other out. We're all supporting each other. We're all promoting each other. We're sharing the latest ideas of what's working and what's not. So you've got this true collaborative industry and environment that we're in. And on top of that, we're choosing to layer another layer of joy on top of that by traveling together and having fun and going around the world and just, again, I know I've said this many times on the podcast, but joy is a choice.
Yes.
And we truly did choose that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
looking through the filters of what would bring me joy, what would I love, what would excite me, what could I anticipate that would feel good,
Mm,
because as you think of those things, we're creating them.
right.
And so for me, it was like, oh my gosh, how much fun would it be to have QSCA have such a success, that I get to take my partners on trips and to go on that first Turks and Caicos, trip. And we were on that boat, and Glenn with his little bubbly of
Yeah.
alcohol. It was like a milk carton of punch. It was hilarious. It was like his booby. He wouldn't let it go. It was so funny. And then you guys like playing amazing music. Because I know, Nat, you and I connect. Some people, it's strange. Some people don't get off with music and,
Mm,
don't have a connection, but you and I definitely have a connection to music. And I have just a dance, playlist that every time I hear a song, I don't care if I'm at Pilates or at the grocery store or I'm somewhere that a song makes me want to dance and move my butt, I
yeah.
add it to that playlist. And
Yeah.
I play that playlist every day. And there's some songs that, like Barbara Streisand, that song when we were on the boat, like just makes me, because you guys were going Christy Whitman,
Yeah.
and I was like, that was a moment of wow, it just those moments of joy, we have to create them, because otherwise we're then inundated by all the contrast in the world,
Yeah.
all the things we have to do, all the responsibilities that we have, and it can feel draining and overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
that's why we have to deliberately think of, what would I love,
Mm,
giving yourself permission, even like, God, what would I love? I would love to go on a trip to Austria and go see the Sound of Music and do that whole tour. Now, am I going to do that tomorrow? Am I going to start planning it? Is it something I'm doing, next year? No, but the idea, every time I think about it or something I would love to experience, it creates and it starts to move. I'm not there going, okay, I'm booking flights, but I'm thinking about it, how someday,
yep.
and I'm detached from this someday, but it's like, that is so much fun. I look forward to that. And it just starts to create this momentum. And
Yeah.
then, because I'm not forcing it or planning it or doing it, I really do anticipate there's going to be just a moment where, hey, here's a trip to Austria, and maybe it's a speaking gig or something like
Yeah.
that, where I'm like, I'm there, but I didn't have to make it happen, because I'm working with a divine co-creator that knows what I want more than I even do, and
Yeah.
wants more for me than I even want for myself,
Yeah.
or
Well,
can even accept for myself, right?
yeah. So I'm the new book I'm listening to at the moment is one of Sarah Landon's books. And there was a quote in there that I had to write out, because what we're talking about, because, as you know, we're manifesting queens, but the place from which you manifest is joy, is this higher frequency emotion. And the quote from Sarah was because, we have to allow, we have
Yes.
to be open to allowing, but the instant manifestation of allowing is joy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, there you go. Because, we can't, if we're in the muck, it's very difficult for us to be able to create anything amazing from there. We have to be in these higher frequencies to do that.
You
So
can't.
yeah.
You cannot create what you want from lack. Because
Mm,
when you think about it, there's three different states of being. Like if you think about them as three different, spectrums of
mm,
emotions, right? And the first one is lack, which is anywhere from despair, hopelessness, all the way to boredom and everything in between. The emotions that don't feel good to have them: disappointment, anger, revenge, all of those, worry, fear, doubt, all of those come from a place of lack, because the perspective is, I'm not enough, I don't have enough, I'm not going to have enough. There is a perspective that then makes me feel fear. And then if I'm in fear, then I try to control. So our behaviors come from this icky place, like drama triangle, all of the whole survival mode of fight, flight, freeze, fawn, all that's coming from that first spectrum of emotions. It
mm,
doesn't feel good. Lack doesn't feel good, right? On the other side, on the pure polar opposite side, is abundance. Now, abundance always feels good. And
right.
that's where joy lands. If you're feeling joy, you're in alignment with abundance. Abundance always feels good. Most people are in lack, like, I'm so impatient. When is this going to happen? Oh, I doubt this is ever going to happen. God, I've wanted this for so long. How come it's not? They're in this place coming from, it's got to happen, desperation, worry, when's it going to happen? Fear, oh, it's never going to happen. And they're coming from lack, expecting to have the fulfillment. And lack, again, feeling bad, is the opposite of abundance. Abundance is the having of it, whereas lack is the not having of it. It's the deficit. It's the, it's the emptiness of it, right? So we have to bridge that gap between those two different spectrums. And the one in the middle is neutrality. That's where having compassion, I mean, it's based on one of the laws, 7 essential laws I've taught on for over 25 years, which is the law of sufficiency and abundance. So in order to create what you want, you have to be in a place of, this is enough. I'm okay. All is well, right? That calm, peaceful, it's what you're being that allows you to then open up to those higher frequencies. But if you're in lack and in despair, I've heard people say that, influencers will say, when you're feeling bad, just get into gratitude. And I'm like, dude, people that just lost their job or just lost their best friend or their husband or, are terrified of how they're going to pay their freaking mortgage this month. Just getting into gratitude, it's like trying to jump from one end of the Grand Canyon to the other. Right. It's like you need that middle ground. You need that place of calming your nervous system. We were talking about that, a couple of days ago when we were connecting. It's like not only regulating your nervous system, but healing it by regulating it. Right. And that's that feeling of, I got to get myself into a calm state, whether it's through meditation, whatever the tools are to get us there, right? It could be meditation, breath work, affirmations, visualizations, energy work, energy medicine. I mean, we're so blessed right now to know what we know and have access to all the tools. Because I know your mom and my mom did not. Right. We have access and free access to conversations like this, to be able to shift us into a better place. We didn't have that 20 or 30 years ago. Thank God for the internet and all the different tools and all the different technology that's letting us connect like this while I'm in Arizona and you're in freaking California. And everybody else around, the globe being able to hear this either now or later.
So what I hear you saying, and this was part of our conversation the other day, is that first we have to get back to neutral. Like we have to, whatever, like breathing, guys, 4 breaths in, hold for 4, out for 8. This is because what that's going to do is just let's get you back to a neutral place. Now the next step, and for me, because I've and both of us, I mean, I think everyone I know has been going through some kind of dark night situation. But what I might do is just sit on the balcony and just watch the hummingbirds come in. Something small, something simple, and I might not feel full-blown gratitude, but I definitely feel better. So even from that better place, I can make better choices. I can do different things. But I agree. Like I think I have a newfound understanding and empathy for people who are, really in a dark place. And I'm like, I'm thinking if someone had to come to me when I was there and gone, you just need to meditate, I would have gone, ooh, stick that up your bum sideways. There's no way I want to do that.
I love
right now. I don't have it in me.
We've had moments like that with each other. It's like, it's not working. Why is it not working? And it does work. It's just, you have to keep focusing on it. When you're in that space of lack, and especially when the emotions, it's almost like the emotions can just overcome and cloud everything that's going on. So all you can see, all you can focus on is the dark and the despair. But that's where just focusing on, all right, I'm breathing in light. There's light. There is light in this universe. There's God, the universe, my soul. There's something other than me going through this right now. I'm going to call in my higher awareness of whatever that is, and allow myself to feel that compassion, because that compassion is also that neutralizer. And when you start to think about light coming in and calming you down and moving through the top of your head and filling you up, that feels good. And then to do is something somatic, something where you're touching yourself. Don't get naughty. Well, you can. I like it too. But give yourself a hug.
Yeah.
Right? Like give yourself a hug, or just even put your hand on your heart. And like you said, do the breaths, do the box breaths where you're breathing in 4 and holding for 4 and you breathe out 4 and then you don't breathe again for 4, right? And you're doing this box breath, or you're just even breathing in deep and imagine you're breathing in light and you're breathing out those feelings that you don't want, but you're doing it with a somatic touch.
Yeah.
Right. So you call in the light first, you do something somatic. And then after that, that's when you do the words of affirmations. Because a lot of people will go, I'm all right, I'm fine, I'm abundant. But the nervous system is still like, no, you're not. I'm afraid. I'm freaking out. Right. And
that's bullshit.
Right. Like, no, not happening. So I like to say that when you're doing affirmations and you haven't prepared your body to receive those affirmations because you're still so tight. I mean, you can't receive from a tight fist like that.
Right.
Right. So you have to prepare. It's like if you're going to plant flowers in a garden, you're not just going to toss them on top of the soil. You're going to tend the soil. You're going to plant them in so that they can grow. And it's the same thing with this. So when you're bringing in the light and you're starting to, it doesn't mean you're totally calm, but you're starting to feel calm. You're leaning into that calm. You're doing something somatic for about 90 seconds to calm yourself down. Then you say your affirmation. I'm okay. Things always work out for me. This too shall pass. Light is here for me. I surrender this over to the divine. Whatever you need to say, but we need to say words of affirmation because we cannot not think.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like you can go, okay, I want to stop. I want to get out of the negative vortex. I want to get out of this negative loop. But saying that is one thing, and nature abhors a vacuum. So you need to replace it with something else, which is why it's important to have those words of affirmation. Now, this is a really good segue because you're talking about, handing it over to the divine and the light. So let's talk about the council. So who is the council?
Well, it's funny you say that because on my Substack publication, Quantum Success with Christy and the Council, I put on a video because people would ask, like, who is the council? What is it? And so I actually have a video of the very first time that I was working with clients and the council came through. So you could go over and then check that out. But the council is a very high collective vibration consciousness that has come through. There's other people, like you mentioned, Sarah Landon. She also channels the council, right? So I channel the council. There's other people that channel the council or the council of light. It's a collection of high vibration that comes through each person that is open to channeling and receiving the messages. And they're here to come through me with a very specific purpose. They're not here to help people understand their Akashic records or to go to other galaxies, and then because they're like, you'll do that when you're past. You're here now in this physical reality, never to be Natalie Ledwell again, never to be Christy Whitman again, never to have. There's never been anyone that's had your experience of life or my experience of life before us or ever after us. So this unique substance, consciousness, that is our divine, our life force, our source, it's having experience through us and wants to co-create with us and is, of course, of increase. There's no even anything that ever says that the divine in us or God wants us to suffer or to, be without or anything like that. It's just constant growth and increase and expansion. And so the council has come through me in what was my son's birthday. It's funny. September 17th, 2018 is when they came through. And they're here to talk about how to master your energy so that this is the game. We're at it. This isn't a dress rehearsal. We're doing it right now so that we can experience this life that we have in joy.
Right.
And there are contrasting things that happen. People have comments, people have their opinions, right? Comments are made, there's news that happens. just everything could be going great. And just in the regular experience of life, we lose people that we love or care about, whether it's a friend, a colleague, a pet, a mother, right? It's like those people transition out. And when they do, we need to reconfigure.
Right.
When someone transitions off the planet that you've had an energetic connection to or not, right? There's a reconfiguration happening. And so knowing how to master our own energy, like just the awareness of, God, I'm feeling off for whatever reason. I have no idea why. Instead of judging, what's wrong with me? And then getting into this downward spiral, just noticing that I'm feeling kind of off. All right, let me bring in some light. Let me give myself that hug. Let me give my words of affirmation, or the gazillion of other processes that all of us teach to get us back into that space. That's energy mastery. And that's what they're really here to teach, processes and help people release the blocks so that the more energy, more life force can flow through so that we can be a channel for joy. Because that's the vibration of the divine. It vibrates at joy. And so when it's like all the books, last 2 books I've written have had the factor in them, the flow factor, the desire factor. The flow is there. We're the factor. The joy is there. The joy vibration is there. We're the factor.
Yeah. Well, darling, so guys, if you're listening to this and want to know more about Christy, connect with her more, Quantum Success with Christy in the Council is her Substack, or Christy Whitman, you'll find her there on Substack. If you're listening to this podcast on any other platform other than Substack, we encourage you to come over and join the party. You will find Susie and I at thejoyjolt.com. It'll take you directly to our Substack page. And we're going to come back in a few minutes for our paid subscribers. And we're going to ask Christy to open up the channel for a message from the council. So everyone, have a fantastic week. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't upgraded to paid now, you can do so through the button on this page. All right, everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you soon.